Sharkina Shams standing by live in downtown Sacramento where fans are gathered for today's big announcement.
But first we go to Dallas where KCRA3's David Binnick has been right in the middle of the action at the Board of Governors meeting. David?
Yes, good evening from Dallas. Commissioner David Stern does indeed call this a victory for Sacramento, and it does indeed look as if the Kings will be on the court at Sleep Train Arena next fall. But it's still not exactly clear who will be on the sidelines. Kevin Johnson and lead Sacramento investor Vivek Ranadive posed for pictures with Kings fans who waited all day in the lobby of this Dallas hotel to hear this news from the NBA's top boss.
The appropriate outcome was to keep the team in Sacramento.
Commissioner David Stern said the league's owners had voted 22-8 to deny moving the Kings to Seattle. That effectively kills a 4-month-old deal that a Seattle investor group led by Chris Hansen had signed with the Kings' current owners, the Maloof family.
Obviously, we wanted that to happen, and that's who we wanted to win it. But you know, we still have a great love for Sacramento.
The NBA will now try to encourage the Maloofs to sell to the Ranadive group in Sacramento.
You think you can get a
Stern
deal?
admits he can't force the Maloofs to sell to anybody.
Do you think you can get a deal with the Loofs?
Well, again, we have work to do, but we feel good about that.
Will hopefully be the final piece of this saga that has been going on for quite a long time.
There's no pressure on us. Zero.
You were willing not to sell if that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Stay in Sacramento again. George Maloof says he has been talking with the Ranadive group for approximately 3 months and says he's willing to keep talking, but he did not commit to David Stern's goal of getting a new signed sale agreement within the next 48 hours. Live in Dallas, Texas, David Binnick, KCRA3 reports.
There's still lots of unfinished business there. All right, David, thank you so much for that. Well, Chris Hansen, who led the Seattle group trying to buy the Kings, issuing a statement earlier today about the NBA's decision within the last hour.
Yeah, this is what he says, quote, "While we are obviously extremely disappointed with today's relocation vote and truly believe we put forth both a significantly better offer and arena plan, we do thank the league and the owners for their time and consideration and look forward to hearing back on our agreement to join the Maloofs as limited partners in the Kings."
That so-called backup agreement where they own 20% of the team and keep the team here for the time being. Don't know if that's how it's going to play out. Meanwhile, while Seattle may be disappointed at this point, you might imagine Sacramento fans ecstatic tonight.
Yep, Sharkina Shams are right in the middle of that in Sacramento. A lot of fans are gathering where you are tonight to celebrate.
Well, it's here, Kelly and Wilson, and all that news out of Dallas is being celebrated. Take a look around this place. You can see hundreds of fans have packed in here today to celebrate that news about relocation. Listen to those cheers. All they need is that camera to be on, and they go for it. Some of them have a message for Seattle fans.
The announcement from NBA Commissioner David Stern set off hours of celebration that followed a day of nervous waiting.
Relief.
That's how Lynn McIntosh with the group Crown Downtown describes it.
Relief and joy that I'll still be able to take my grandkids to see the Kings.
So it's what fans waited for.
I feel like it was a little bit of justice because we supported the Kings through thick and thin. Two of the longest sellout streaks in NBA history. We just really felt finally a little bit of redemption.
But with no deal yet for the Maloofs to sell the team to Sacramento's investor group, some fans are cautious.
99.9% positive, yes. But with the Maloofs, you never know what's going to happen. They might drag this out for another, I don't know how long.
Still, McIntosh has a message for all those who said a sale to Seattle earlier this year would be final.
The big crow picked up the wrong mayor, the wrong city, the wrong fans.
And just a little while ago, we saw a couple of tweets from two of those big investors that are involved in this deal. Chris Kelly tweeted 2 words, more cowbell, and we heard a little bit from Vivek Ranadive on his Twitter page where he said, "Sac fans, you rock." So everybody in this room waiting for those folks to get back to town, Ranadive and especially Mayor Johnson now in Dallas, so they can greet them. I'm here in Midtown Sacramento. I'm Sharkina Shams, KCRA reports.
Nice to see all those smiles, finally,
A little bit of relief, at least for now. Let's hope it continues. Well, the head of the state Senate also weighing in on today's decision, praising Mayor Johnson for his Herculean efforts and the community's never say die attitude. But Darrell Steinberg also cautioned that the Maloofs still haven't sold the team to anyone yet.
There's obviously still work to do. Everybody understands that that there still has to be a deal made between the Maloofs and the Sacramento ownership group. But I'm very confident now that this particular hurdle has been cleared, that the rest will work itself out.
Well, until that sale is final, current employees of the Kings won't know if their jobs are secure. And among those who are wondering what will happen, the man known as the voice of the Kings.
Yeah, KCRA3's Chris Reva spoke to him and joins us now live at Sleep Train Arena in Sacramento with that part of our story tonight. Chris.
Well, Galston, Kelly, he is an institution with this organization because he's been with it since the franchise moved here in 1985. And it's interesting, he admitted that even if there's a new ownership group, they're not sure or guaranteed that their jobs will be here next season, and he has no idea when he will find out when that will be the case. But he is elated with the news of the fact that the franchise is staying in Sacramento, and his first thought immediately went to the fans.
Sacramento's had such a great fan base. In over 28 years, it's a full generation now of young people who the only professional sports game in town that they've known is the Sacramento Kings. And the thought of that possibly going away was just numbing. It was crushing. There's been a lot of anxiety and that's gone with what's transpired. This has been a roller coaster. It's been a soap opera. We've been sucker punched a couple of times, and it's been painful.
Just ask you about the Maloof family. What is your thought on how they've handled the situation?
Well, I think that perhaps in hindsight, and I don't know how they look at these things, I think there are ways that things could have been handled better, and I think that we don't really know what's going to transpire here. So, I don't know. I know that in the years that they were here, there are many, many good things that they've done. I know that there's hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, that have been given to various charitable causes, and I salute them for all of that. In terms of what's happened on the basketball floor and the product and one thing or another, sure, it's easy to sit back and second guess some of those decisions. I'm not going to do that. I'm looking forward right now, and I'm just elated with the fact, again, that this team is staying in Sacramento.
It was interesting in talking to Gerald. He said it's been almost 2 full seasons since he's had a conversation with the Maloofs or anyone within the family. As for some of the personnel that works in the front office, I've had contact with several members today, none of which have had any type of comment, not even a reaction. In Natomas, in Sacramento, Chris Reva, KCRA3 reports. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thanks. And of course, the decisions that'll shape the future of the Kings, not over yet. KCRA3 continues to follow all the negotiations between the Sacramento Investment Group and the Maloofs.
Don't forget, you can always get the latest news by downloading the KCRA3 mobile app or signing up for our breaking news alerts.